Good morning, Colorado. Good morning, people listening outside of Colorado. Man, happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing well. This is Josh with K4CO Radio, your president here, and sitting down with a really good friend of the station, especially since this friend, we can tell you from personal experience, is just an expert in his field. Now, if you're listening on K4CO Radio, our website, or our apps, do know that you can switch over to our social media platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, all that fun stuff. And if you do have a question, feel free to put that in the comments section. Our producer Sabino will alert me to questions that come through, and we can try to answer those for you. But we're going to be going through a lot of different things when it comes to the IT world. Sitting down with Brett Minzer. Is the owner of IT1 Service. You can go to www.it1service.com. Telephone number 720-386-1510. And IT1 Services. All right. With the website IT1 Service.
I finally got my domain back. So
you did?
I did.
So it's IT1 Services now?
It's always been IT1 Services, but
right.
I lost the domain 10 plus years ago.
But you got it back finally.
Got it back.
You were telling us that last time you came in, and so that's good that it's finally all kind of up
Finally
and
mine.
going. Nice. How many years was that?
10.
10 years. Goodness gracious. Well, still gets you to that same place, 720-386-1510. And the office is located on 1221 South Lipan. It's kind of near Santa Fe and Mississippi area. So check them out for any of your IT services. What's great is that you do hourly packs, and with the holidays coming, you can easily give someone an hour. So that
you could buy a 20-hour block and give one to every customer.
Exactly, you could, and what a great gift that would be, you know. And everybody,
I hadn't thought about that, but I like that. I'm gonna have to talk to one of my clients about that.
Exactly. I mean, that's a perfect way. But we all know the people that you're like their IT person. They call you, it's just like, why is my TV not working? You're like, oh my gosh, you know, they need IT help. They need IT work. So, yeah, check it out. It'd be a good gift certificate for that 1 hour. Today, I didn't know if you knew, today's a very special day. It's the last penny printing in the United States. Did you know that?
You don't really want me to go into politics.
No, I don't, but I wanted to throw that at you.
You really don't want me to. And look, 50% of your audience just disappeared.
Quite possibly. But yeah, last penny printing right now, which is good. It costs 3.7 cents to make 1 cent, so it doesn't really make sense. So how is the computer game going with you? How's the IT world?
It's good. I adjusted about 20% up this year. And, I get the joy of being of service to my clients and being there when, stuff goes sideways and making it unsideways.
Right. And it's great, too, because people get your phone number and everything like that, and they have a portal on their website where they connect to your computer through their portal. So it's not one of these third-party things that you kind of do, like, what is it, Quick Assist?
So they're all tools.
Okay.
Microsoft uses Quick Assist.
Yep.
Which is another product.
And you're a fan of Microsoft for the most part when you talk.
I am a fan of their products. Mm-hmm. I am not a fan of any service company that's large like that. Anybody. AT&T, Verizon.
The service all over the board is
It's
just
just
horrible.
terrible.
Exactly.
It's all just terrible. If you don't have 3 hours to waste, don't call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And most of the time, it's just like, just send us an email. We'll get back to you in a couple days whenever we can.
Weeks, months.
Yeah, exactly. But when it comes to the products, you've always been supportive
it's
of
absolutely
Microsoft.
the most stable products out there.
The Microsoft is, yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And lots of people don't really like the new version of Outlook that's coming out, but they really don't understand that there were so many problems with the previous version that you really need it.
I actually like the design better. I like the ease better. One thing I didn't like, which we found out, so for all of the viewers and listeners that are out there, K4CO Radio ran into a really big snag when it came to our hosting service for emails. And we knew somebody's like, yeah, you just download all the emails through Outlook. Well, can't do that anymore. All the history of them. Well, maybe you can. Okay.
You can now. The way that companies produce software, it used to be they produce software, and you're good to go.
Yep.
And then they have a service pack a year later.
Yep. Came in a box.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now they produce that part of the software, then this part of the software, then that, and they put it out as though it were complete.
Right.
So,
piecing it together.
yeah, and they just add features and functionalities as people yell and scream.
Right, right. But yeah, K4CO Radio had to move our hosting abilities, and a wonderful company I will not name, but basically said, all right, well, you have 6 days to do so. And so we were in a
that
panic.
much time?
Yeah, we had those 6 days. That's pretty good, right? For in your world.
Well, I thought you called
did
me
it
with
in
like
2
two.
days. Yeah,
you
did it
called
in
me
like
with
2.
like 2 days.
Yeah, exactly. But you did it absolutely amazingly. So, over 40 years in the industry, if you don't know Brett Minzer. So go to IT1Service.com, and hey, you never know when you're going to need it. What are some of the top technology trends you see that are going to change the game in the next decade? I mean, we've talked about AI.
So AI is probably the biggest.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of AI. I think it's a product designed to make you stupid.
Fair enough.
You know, it takes people who don't know what they're doing and gives them a veneer of they do know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So eventually those always crash.
Right.
You know, I listened to a fairly high uppity guy, and he's talking about how, you know, AI reduces his email workload by 30% or 50% or something because it strips out the mail he doesn't have to read. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, he has a product that he doesn't know how it's made that's determining what he reads. And his job is to read the email product that he can blame and say, well, I didn't see it. Well, I didn't see it because you turned the product on that
basically does it for you
and doesn't necessarily do it correctly.
Just on the most simplest terms, it's just everybody's had that thing where it's just like, check your email. I sent it. Check your it went in the spam folder. Right. So this thing is just basically
it just deletes it,
moves
it over to wherever. But the problem is that it's not you, and to think that a computer can think like you is foolish.
Right.
Has it gotten a lot closer to human thought over time? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Is it ready for prime time? Absolutely not. I don't care how many processors you make and how many of them look like the Terminator. It's still not ready. It doesn't have any kind of skin in the game. It's just a big calculator that's bigger than most. It doesn't have any vested interest in your doing things that benefit you. Mm-hmm. So if it says, hey, you don't need to read these 60 emails, and one of those emails is one that says, if you don't reply to this in the next 3 days, you're fired. It doesn't know that because it's not in the parameter because you didn't put the word fired in the parameter. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it doesn't care. It's just a program.
Then it'll be like an Office-based thing. We fixed the glitch. He's not being paid anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
exactly.
He's on the street looking for a job, but still.
Right, exactly.
You know, and so, I'm not a fan of giving away my ability to think.
Do you think at least that like AI might have some good movement towards like antivirus type stuff, protection, safety for devices?
Well, no, because it's not to me. I mean, I'm not in that industry, so I don't know. Mm-hmm. Can it find a virus faster? Probably. So there's probably some benefit to that.
Right.
But as far as it answering questions and acting as a human, no. I mean, I've seen where medical research is enhanced by it because, you know, you're looking at, what are they, DNA chains, you know, which there's like 400 billion or million or something, you know, in the human genome. Mm-hmm. And it's helping to do cancer research. Okay.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
Right.
It's just doing it at high speed.
Right.
You know, I used to, you know, program in databases that were, you know, tiny in comparison to, you know, spreadsheets now that can do hundreds of millions of lines, mm-hmm. you know. So it's just technology advances. I don't see it as a benefit that they see it.
Is there anything that you think in the back of your mind you're really excited for? Kind of like when you used to watch sci-fi movies and stuff, and it's just
I still watch sci-fi movies.
well, okay, yeah, but those things,
Killer
like, I'm
clown
still waiting
in
for a
space.
hoverboard, you know, from Back to the Future too. So just like little things that on the computer wise, you kind of, you know, if it gets to this, I'm kind of looking forward to this.
No, you know,
No.
I've been involved in the nuts and bolts of technology for the last 50 years.
Right.
I just, it doesn't hold that I'm going to go to the Star Trek convention, you know, kind of thing. I watch Star Trek, but I'm not, you know, I'm not going to put a uniform on or dress up as a Wookiee or as a Klingon or something and, you know, go out and try to speak a language that doesn't exist.
Right.
But maybe AI could help with that.
Yeah.
You
You
know.
never know.
Because that's time well spent.
Are there any scams that kind of or different things that people need to watch for that kind of are amplified towards holiday season?
Absolutely. So elderly and kids are most attacked. Anybody who has products like Comcast or CenturyLink for their bandwidth, they get hacked fairly often, and people watch their products come online. And they'll make a call and they'll say, hey, you know, I notice you're online and, you know, we see viruses and we'd like to help you.
Right.
And, you know, somebody who's 60, 70, 80 years old doesn't normally do that stuff. It's not their thing. And somebody nice on the phone trying to help them, you know.
Right.
And, you know, I've seen it happen to people. I see it happen weekly. Unless you have a firewall, some people call it a VPN, but it's not really a VPN for your cellular or portable device. Don't connect to anybody's private, you know, public Wi-Fi. You know, there's this, what's the name of it? NordVPN.
Nord, N-O-R-D.
Yeah, it's really, you know, first it was just a VPN, and, you know, people really don't understand what that is, and it's just a way to connect from one point to another through the internet. That's all it is.
Right.
And the problem
Like
is,
your cell phone, using your cell phone as a hotspot type of thing.
correct.
Yes.
But you're getting on your cell phone, which is a private connection, and you're then going to the internet through that. So that connection is secured.
Right.
And other things secure different parts of the internet. But if you connect at Starbucks and then turn your VPN on, well, first of all, you already connected without your VPN because you can't connect with it on. It's an after the fact. And the other thing is, you know, if you want to give all your data to somebody in Reykjavik, you should absolutely buy those products.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, if you know exactly the company and where they're storing their data and whose access, then you're good. And we sell a product like that for devices, personal firewalls. I've had multiple clients who've gone out of the country and called me from somebody else's phone saying, they have everything. What do I do? Turn your phone off. Go to a store, buy another phone, get another number.
Right.
You know, and I can fix them, but I mean, sometimes it's egregious. I've got one client who's been hacked repetitively for 3 years. She's reported everything to the FBI, to the different police forces where these things are taking effect. They do absolutely nothing.
No.
No. I mean, you know, I've been desperately trying to find an attorney for her who would take her case because it's you know, you got to sue the big pocket folks. You got to sue Apple, who's created 10 accounts under her name with no verification that it's her.
Right.
Verizon, who's, you know, locked her out of 10 numbers that aren't hers, that she never set up. For devices they've, you know, and, you know, they're just utterly irresponsible. And they take no, I don't know the word, starts with an A. Accountability.
Accountability when it comes
For
to it.
anything.
No, a lot of this, that's a lot of times in 3 years, you said, that somebody
In
is?
the last 3 years that she has been hacked, I would have to say dozens of times. I've found some ways around that so that she can communicate, But every time she gets on some mail and links it to something personal,
Right.
somebody steals it. And no matter what you've out there, if somebody wants your stuff, they're gonna get your stuff.
Exactly.
You know, it's just a matter of how much they're willing to do. And apparently, she's known one of the prime people in this, multiple of the people. She's reported them to police departments and the FBI, and they just yank her chain and say, "Oh, sorry, dear."
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was an attorney who was involved, and he basically gave up his law license and stole her dead father's company. Just outright stole it. Now, I'm listening to her, so, you know, I take her at her word.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's got nothing to lose. She doesn't want the company. You know, the IRS is you know, people filing taxes in her name.
Right.
You know, and nobody will help her. It's just absolutely sad. You know, people and their, you know, if I don't get mine, then I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyway.
Well, and it's amazing too. I mean, we're used to data breaches all the time now. I mean, just
it has nothing to do with what you're doing. The data breaches come elsewhere.
Exactly. The latest one, I think, even this month, Hyundai Motor Group, affecting about 2.5 million customers. So driver's licenses, social security numbers, all of that. It's just part of daily life now.
That's me. They stole mine.
Right. They stole yours. You know?
I have a Hyundai. They absolutely stole mine.
So,
and Google got hacked massively.
that was 30 days ago. That was August, right?
Well, they didn't report it until
August. Yeah.
God forbid they should let anybody know in a reasonable time frame, because all that information is sold within a week.
Right. Exactly.
You know. Yeah.
And it seems like the majority of data breaches are caused by human error or malicious attacks. Either one. Often.
Everything is always a malicious attack, but they're caused mainly by penny pinching boards of directors and CIOs and CTOs, Chief Information Officers, Chief Technology Officers, who report to the boards and see technology as a cost center as opposed to a profit center. And when something's a cost center in a corporation, it gets the short shrift everywhere. So if they say, we need 3 levels of firewalls to do this, and we need this, and we need that, and they say, well, how much is that? And they say $12 million. And, you know, they go to the bean counters. They say, well, if we get sued, we'll lose 4. Okay, let them sue us.
Then it's just like the insurance thing.
Right.
How many cars before we need to do a recall?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it is unjustifiable, and yet they all justify it. Mm-hmm. So, you know, my hope is that all those CEOs and all those CTOs and all the CIOs, they get their entire life stolen from them because of one of those hacks, maybe not in their company, but another. And they're living in a box going, geez, that really sucks. But, you know, until things personally affect you, it's...
Well, exactly.
You know, they don't want to take responsibility because it's not me. I didn't do it.
I think that's just kind of humanity until it really personally affects you. Then you start caring about it. You know, for some weird reason. How do you have a question here? How do you handle a lost or stolen phone or laptop to minimize potential data breaches?
So if it's a corporate device and you put it on corporate mobile device management, then you can simply turn it off and block it. If you do not, if it's a personal device, then you should go to another phone, call your provider, and disconnect the phone, disconnect the line, take the SIM cards that are in there that are virtual and change the passwords on those, because they steal those, and then put new numbers on them.
Most phones are virtual SIM cards now, right?
Every phone has 2 virtual SIM cards capable.
Okay.
And they're incredibly easy to hack. Their default passwords like 1 2 3 4 5 6.
Right.
And
admin.
No, it's worse than that. I mean, literally, it's just a number generator.
Right.
And with this one client, I changed the SIM passwords to 18-character passwords for a SIM. You know, that's as long as the whole SIM.
That's as many as you could do.
Well, no, it's the SIM. The IMEI number's like 18, 20 characters, and I put passwords on them that are just that complicated.
Right.
And they're like,
And what about like laptops? PC. So if one gets lost or stolen,
If you don't have your drive encrypted,
your OneDrive or cloud,
no,
yeah.
your actual hard drive.
Okay, your actual
If you
hard
don't
drive.
have your actual hard drive encrypted with BitLocker, Microsoft will encrypt it automatically. However, they won't tell you that it's encrypted until you actually try to like upgrade it or something. And then they'll go, "Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have your key?" And they'll say, "What key?" Businesses, those keys are recorded. Personals are not. If you don't, you should always verify. You can just type BitLocker, and it'll come up and tell you whether it's locked. But it's encrypted end to end on the drive, and that will stop people from taking the drive out, putting it in another machine, and reading it.
Okay, gotcha.
You can also use ESET and a couple of others that make encryption products that load before Windows. So the BIOS, which is where it comes up and says Dell or Lenovo or whoever, that's the BIOS. And then the next would be the encryption software that starts there. But they've made hacks that take over the pictures,
Right.
the little manufacturer logo pictures.
Yep.
Those can be infected, so that every time you turn your computer on, you're reinfecting your system.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
why all the manufacturers are doing massive updates to their BIOS on a consistent basis. They are.
And if you have any questions on this, I mean, just go straight to them. I mean, because I kind of can follow you because I'm a little bit computer literate, but
So if it didn't make sense, ask me again. I'll
Yeah.
do it a different way. Seriously.
right.
I am a former Marine. I have a big I am a big fan of, if you don't understand what I'm saying, ask it. There's no such thing as a stupid question. It doesn't matter if you're 6 or 600.
Right.
Age-wise, if you're 600, you should call the Guinness Book of World Records. But
Yeah, exactly.
whether you're capable or not, knowledgeable or not, if you don't know the answer and you ask somebody like me, and we geek out and you start throwing 60 words you don't understand,
Right.
stop them, put your hand up, and just say, "Hey, English, please."
In layman's terms.
And absolutely,
Right.
and I'm like every other geek. We go into what we do. I mean, lawyers do it in legalese, and doctors do it.
Doctors do it all the time.
I don't know what that's called. I know legalese in English, but I don't know what medicalese.
Sure, I like that.
Sure.
I mean, we'll coin it. Yeah. We're sitting down with Brett Minzer, owner of IT1 Services. It's IT1Service.com. And with the holidays coming in, easiest way to give someone an hour of your time. I mean, what's the easiest way for someone to reach out? So let's say somebody is just like, I want to give out some of these for the holidays, like an hour of IT, anytime service. They just go to the website or call. What's the best way?
They can go to the website. They can call. They can email. Smoke signals. Whatever works.
You still take smoke signals, huh?
I still take them. I take Mexican jumping beans if I can get somebody to buy them from me, and I'll trade. The only thing I won't touch is that Bitcoin crap.
Fair enough. Yeah. I just don't understand it. Let's just make money out of ones and zeros, and
It's not. It's a guy came up with a way to secure a wallet in the cloud, which is great. Unfortunately, the only people who really get any great benefit from it are thieves. They're scammers. They they do Ponzi schemes.
right.
That's all it is. And I had an associate in another business, and I fixed his computer, and he came to me and he said, I want to talk to you about the Bitcoin thing, and it's only $1,000 to invest. And I looked at him and I said, if you don't stop talking to me about this, I'm going to walk away. And he came to me another time and he said it, and I said, we had this discussion. Have a nice day. I have friends who are very big into it. And it's just a scam.
Yeah.
It's great for criminal organizations who don't want to get tracked. Other than that, it's a scheme.
Yeah, we were talking on our last Sunday show. There was dating apps are all over the place too, and it's just like some guy in Colorado lost like $1.5 million by letting this person on a dating app kind of show him about Bitcoin, and this is how you trade it and everything that. So.
All I can tell you, in my personal opinion, and I like some dating apps and some I don't, whatever. If you're going there to meet somebody, great. If you're going there for financial advice,
There's a problem.
The problem is between the computer and the chair.
Right.
You know, it's nobody's fault but your own. If you hand somebody you don't know your money,
Right.
and whether you hand it to them digitally or virtually or cash in hand, it doesn't matter. It's yours, and if you give it away, you're responsible. Nobody else. You don't get to blame it on the website. I get those things all the time. When they were really popular, it used to be Chinese women, supposedly, who were, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, I caught the wrong person, and oh, you're in Denver. Oh, well, maybe we get together for lunch.
We
Sure.
get those texts nowadays, or just
all
like
day long.
random. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I've gotten at least 4 in the last 2 days, and I mean, I pull them up. Hey, how you doing today?
I'm blocked.
I used to answer them out of simple fun.
Right.
I'd wait until they, and they say, well, what are you willing to talk about? I said, I don't know. Sex with donkeys out in the air, screaming on wings. What do you want? Who cares? And they go, well, I'm into Bitcoin. I said, well, I can't fix stupid. I like the ones who used to tell me, well, I own my own company in China, but I have people run it for me, and I make millions of dollars a year having other people run my companies. I said, great. Not here. I mean, if you're at that level where you're a billionaire and you're paying people to run the company, wait until you don't watch.
Yeah, exactly. Question for you. How often should users update their operating systems and apps? And actually, I kind of like this one because why is it important, and should it be on auto update?
So, 3 things. First of all, yes, you should always update your operating systems as soon as the updates come out.
As soon as the updates come out.
The reason that you should do that is pretty straightforward. The manufacturers have found flaws in their operating system. Or their software, and they're sending you a fix for that. 1 in 1,000 times the fix doesn't work and it blows something up, but generally they just work. Will it change things that you may be used to? Absolutely. A programmer in India thought that looked cool, so that's what happened.
That's what I get annoyed on my phone all the time. Every update now, everything looks different. Everything seems like...
Yeah, Apple just did one where it was like, went from like version 18 to version 26. It's like, okay, well...
You skipped a few numbers there.
Yeah, exactly. It is important to do all updates because it's not just feature updates, it's security patches. It's things that people found ways to get into and steal your stuff.
Right.
So if you don't do the updates because you're thinking somehow that's going to benefit you, the problem is between the desk and the chair.
Right.
It just is.
So people should just have it on auto update.
So the only downside to auto update is that it auto boots at the wrong times.
True.
It will boot in the middle of, oh shit, I'm on the show and my computer just restarted. I'll have to wait 5 minutes. Having it on auto update, I do, but I have 5 or 6 systems. So if one goes down, I just grab another.
Right.
But it's a choice. But, if you're using a primary, this is my day-to-day system, I would say let it auto-update, but not auto-restart, which you can tick. And, once a week, go in and make sure it's been restarted. We offer a service where we do that for you. We manage and monitor the updates. We tell it when to reboot if it's going to need to reboot. All that stuff.
Right. And what I know you do individuals and small companies. Tell everybody again what types of companies, what size of companies, and then people also just as individuals, just regular people, and use
Absolutely.
you as well.
We don't. Our primary business is not individuals. We will certainly help anybody who needs assistance.
Right.
Will we do that? Absolutely. Do they want to pay our price? Probably not. I have some clients who are not well off, so I give that away. Just I'm Jewish. It's a mitzvot. It's a good deed. I can use all I can get. I got a referral from a gal who's wheelchair bound, has people basically taking care of her like 14, 15 hours a day. And I was referred to her, and I just could not see the benefit in any way of charging her. So I upgraded her computer, and I made a bigger, faster hard drive, and I had more memory, and I gave her a bigger screen. And I sent my tech on site. We were there a couple of times, and we just did it for free because I figured she's got enough crap in the world. She doesn't need any more. So stuff like that. But 115 hours, that's a chunk for people. And
Right.
I sell things. I sell blocks of prepaid hours that are discounted rates.
And you do them in 15-minute increments, correct?
So when we bill, except for the first hour on site, we bill everything in 15-minute increments.
Okay.
The blocks never expire, and you can use them for anything you want. The only thing we don't do, and when you buy the block, we say, we don't give cash back.
Right.
We are happy to buy anything you want, but we don't do cash back. And I've had to in a few cases, and it's like, yeah, whatever, fine, okay. But, just because it's easier on me. But, individuals don't usually have the cash flow to do that. Some do, and that's okay. They can get a discount. And if it's, a 5-minute, 10-minute thing and you bring it to me, then, yeah, I'll probably just fix it and say, here, have a nice day, Merry Christmas.
Right.
But if it's going to take an hour or two or three, that's what we do for a living. So,
Well, and that's why you specialize in the small business.
yeah.
Right there.
And the small businesses up to 25.
Up to 25 employees? All right.
Computerized employees. So if it's like a construction company where you've got 40 workers on the outside, but they don't have a
I
computer.
don't think the guy mixing concrete is
No,
hooked
but
in.
I have one company who's a landscape and design company, and they're putting their phones onto an MDM, which is a mobile device management product, so that they can't mess with the phones. They can make calls, receive calls, get email, send email. They can text if they choose to have them do that, but they can't update the phones. They can't change anything. They can, the client, my client can actually go online and look and see exactly down to the GPS coordinates of where that individual is.
Right.
So if he says, "Oh yeah, no, I'm on the site," and he goes,
There
"In
now."
Fort Collins?" Really? Well, I left the phone at my house. In Georgia?
All right.
So it allows that, and it's also a Microsoft product, and there are others. I like the Microsoft product line in general. I wish they'd go back to their previous form of tech support where they actually certified and trained their engineers, but they don't do that anymore.
No, that they don't. I think that's kind of all over the board, but you are
It is.
you are always a kind of an advocate of Microsoft. So,
When there are two big players in the world, and there's really two big players in the software market, and there's a whole bunch of little guys doing stuff, and they're either filching off the big player on the left or the big player on the right. And in my opinion, and opinions are like blank, and we all have them, and they all smell bad. If you want security and encryption and safety and storage, then you stick with Microsoft. Maybe you don't like some piece of it, but do you want all your stuff stolen?
right.
Because if you go with G anything, you're basically putting up a red flag and saying, "Hi, come steal my stuff." I've said before, billions of dollars a year from the title companies, from the real estate industry, in bogus, change my ACH and lose 3 or 4, 500 grand, $1 million at a shot. And every last one of them, in my opinion, I'm sure there are a percentage that aren't, are coming from Gmail.
Right.
And they're coming from Gmail mostly because real estate agents love free. I used to think, as a Jew, the old line, cheap as and those kinds of things should just be real estate agents. By far the cheapest individuals I've ever met in my life. Absolutely. And it's not, cheap is probably a bad word. Incredibly frugal.
Frugal. Okay. All right.
Because some are just frugal because But when they see, what they're risking, the ones who are just frugal change over or put other things in place.
Right.
But most of them are like, I'll have my Gmail address.
Right, right. And when it comes to antivirus stuff like that, I mean, protection, safety, you mentioned even a couple different companies. Now, Microsoft has their own
Correct.
built
Which
in.
I wouldn't use to protect anything.
Okay.
It's incredibly basic. It doesn't really perform much of a function.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it actually catch a virus.
So when it comes to built-in, like Microsoft, no, that's where you go to a third party.
You got to go to a third party, in my opinion.
Okay, right.
You go to a third party. I'm sure if you work for Microsoft, that's what you use.
Right.
Not me. If you're retail and you don't want to do something like managed services for a business, which is where we put software and such on your computers to manage and monitor them, then I recommend ESET. If you go to Micro Center, it's pretty much the only major virus product they sell.
I use it on my personal side. Yeah.
And it's inexpensive, it's light, which means it doesn't get in the way of everything else. It doesn't try to kill you, it doesn't try to block everything. It just works.
I've always been curious when it comes to antivirus software and everything. I mean, they're supposed to be scanning as you work, just kind of looking over your computer.
In different ways. Yeah.
In different ways. So I'm always curious. So when it comes to the operation scan my computer, set up a scan of your computer. If that's something that you would recommend people do X amount, once a month, or if it's scanning.
Sure. So the difference between resident and non-resident, in memory, active, running, and not, just in storage. So antivirus runs in two ways. It runs a resident program that scans what's incoming, and top level, easily available file name xyz.doc. It scans that as it comes in, or it's opened, or it's activated, or downloaded. However, if you receive an email with 18 attachments, or you import a bunch of email with tons of attachments, it doesn't scan those.
Okay.
And it only notices them when they're accessed. So a scan, a deep scan, different kinds of scans, will actually scan the contents of those container files like email and such. And most antivirus products do a scan usually once a day, mostly at night. However, some people say do it at night and then turn off their computer and then wonder why their system's really slow in the morning.
Right.
Because it's scanning. It's running a scan. It takes up capability.
Right.
Resources. So it's just a choice. But ESET's really good for retail. Micro Center is the only place to buy, really have a choice of what to buy for computers, whether it's notebooks, desktops, and I don't work for them, but they're the only company in Colorado.
Right.
There are other smaller companies that will sell servers or workstations. You got, Best Buy and Staples and all those kinds of things.
There's some small mom and pop places too.
5 or 6 computers or 10 computers.
Right.
For you, take a choice, A, B, or C. Which would you like?
Right.
Well, I don't really like any of them. Well, those are what we sell, and we're going to hammer you until you buy one. And then we'd like you to come back and talk to our 12-year-old who's, our tech guy. So and all distribution left Colorado in 2008.
What do you mean all distribution?
So we used to have, because we're kind of middle of the road for the U.S., so distribution for major manufacturers had warehouses of stuff here.
Right.
So you could buy stuff from them and go pick it up at the distribution center or have it shipped to you and it came to you the next day because it's right there.
Right. Right.
And it's not going overnight, excessive shipping or, whatever. Or it doesn't get broken because it's right there, And they all left in, I think, 2008, if I remember correctly, beginning of. It was before all the hoo-yah. And they haven't come back. And there's only really Micro Center as a distribution point in Colorado.
Right.
One store. Talk about a monopoly.
I've definitely used them when it comes to purchasing new equipment. When it comes to their service, they're usually about 2 to 3 weeks out.
Minimum. And not incredibly good at it, in my opinion.
Yes.
But, you know, the other thing is if you need to buy cables or small accessories and things and you got a couple of days, go to Amazon. Because, a cable that'll cost you $2, $3 on the internet, through Amazon will cost you $29.99.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. That's where they make their money. And I know a great majority of the employees over there, and great employees, decent company. They don't screw you around. I'm not a big fan of excess warranties because usually they don't get used. But if you're in, if the problem is between the desk and the chair, and you drop your computer a lot, then you should definitely buy a warranty.
You should definitely get one.
If you spend more than $2,000 on a computer, you should buy the warranty from somebody. At least it'll cover it when you drop it, or the screen breaks, or whatever. I've had clients who just say it just broke.
Right.
Okay. No, I had a client who she came back from another country. It was fine when she put her case in the overhead. And the case didn't get mashed or anything, and she took it out, and the screen had a big old long crack in it, and it popped the bezel. And, just difference in air pressure, difference in all of those things, and it broke. And Dell said, oh, well, you broke it, it's on you.
Right.
And, I had another gal when I was in for heart surgery years ago, and she was from Ghana, and she was a physician's assistant out at the VA, and she was great, very nice gal, and she was telling me about this, and I got out of surgery and I'm laying in bed and I'm not supposed to move because with that stuff, and so I had her give me all the information, serial numbers and all that stuff, and while I'm laying there recovering, I was on the phone with Dell yelling and screaming at him. And I got her a new computer.
It's a good way to recover, just yelling and screaming, getting that blood pressure up.
If that's all it does, then I have high blood pressure. I was on the phone yesterday with Verizon. That's a nightmare.
Right.
If I didn't have 4 customers on my stuff, I would just leave. It's just too complicated.
I like how you said when things break. I mean, we're in a constant getting new crap, getting new phones, getting new computers, getting new laptops, updating and everything like that.
Planned obsolescence.
What's that?
Planned obsolescence.
Exactly. I like it before, when just like a washer and dryer would last forever. But now, I don't know, you're lucky if you get 10 years.
Those are still out there, the ones that last forever.
I had to look. It was about 3 years ago.
I bought my house in 2011, condo, whatever. And I've had 4 different manufacturers of appliances. And I always get all the appliances because you buy one and it fails while the others are shortly behind it.
Right.
So, and I've got KitchenAid now, and I had, I don't know, somebody before that, and 6 of the 8 motors in the back just stopped working. And, well, did you get the warranty? You mean the one that just says you can't fix it? Well, then we replace it. With what? And it's like, $1,000.
Yep.
It's not worth it to me. This last one, I owned it, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years, and it just turned off. And I called the manufacturer, and they don't have support. They don't have techs who come out and fix it. They have third-party companies who come out and
charge you $120 just to come out.
And this guy was obviously from either Ukraine or Russia, had an incredibly thick Slavic accent, maybe Poland, and he came in and he basically tore apart all the electronics of my refrigerator.
Did he fix it?
He did.
Okay.
By disconnecting the left meat drawer. He disconnected the technology, the what showed up, the LED.
Yeah.
Disconnected it, put it all back together, and said, "Here, everything works now." And I said,
fine.
"So you're going to order that part?" He goes, "You can't get them." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, it's made in Europe. you can't get the part. They don't sell them.
Uh-huh.
The only fix is turn it off.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I thought, yeah, that's our stuff today.
That just makes sense today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What is the best way? So with everybody upgrading, with everybody, getting new phones, getting new laptops, getting stuff like that. A lot of times, a place like Best Buy will say, yeah, you can just bring in your old laptop. We can, recycle it. We can delete everything on it, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
I personally am not a trusting individual where I want to do everything I can on my end.
Yeah.
Where I don't care who I give it to, they can't do anything.
If you're going to destroy the machine by having somebody destroy it, my recommendation is take a set of pliers on a notebook, a couple of pliers, rip the thing open. You'll find all the chips inside in the drive if it's an older machine. Take them out, put them in a bowl, take a hammer, beat the crud out of them for about 10 minutes. Nobody's getting anything off of that data. Take it all, put it in a bag, and hand it to them. And if they say, "Well, we can't do that," then walk out and dump it in their trash.
That's a good way to recycle it. Now there are also these companies where they say it's kind of like a trade-in type thing, where you can't just destroy it. You have to hand it over to them, especially phones.
Oh, well, phones are a little different in that. So I took a phone in and they said, well, you have to leave it here. You have to get, in order for us to fix it. And I said, I'm not leaving my data with you.
Right.
And they said, well, what do you want to do? And I factory reset my phone.
So the factory reset is the solution to it.
It wipes everything out completely.
Perfect. All right. That's what I kind of thought.
But it also means you've got 4 hours of reinstalling this and restoring that. And if you don't know how to do that, then it's incredibly daunting.
And do you work with like company phones too?
Yeah.
So phones, computers, PCs, anything that you're
plugs in and falls under the MO of technology, we take care of you.
All right. I like it.
That's my greatest line. I when I talk to people is, does your technology do what you want it to do? No. Right. Would you like it to? Lots of people waste lots of time and energy going down rabbit holes because, earlier you said that's just human nature.
Yes.
What I see in human nature is that everybody, guys and gals, men and women, young and old, all think they got this.
Yep.
And they can fix anything.
Right.
In the old days, I think it was the guy under the hood of the car that's broken down on the side of the road, who knows nothing about cars. But he's more than willing to stick his fingers places that he shouldn't in hopes that doing it will fix it.
Well, and you got to impress the girl. That was the older days. Open the hood, look around. Ooh, he kind of knows things.
If the woman I'm dating knows about cars, I'll be more than happy to sit in the car and read a book while she fixes it. I have no problem.
Right.
But people spend an inordinate amount of time because they feel they should be able to fix it. They'll get on the internet and start Googling.
Right.
And they'll try this and they'll try that. And, they don't realize that either A, the information's false, or B, it's 10 years old,
right.
Or, it doesn't really apply, or whatever it is. When somebody in my industry goes into Google, we're looking for very specific things, and we pass up 90% of it because, the internet's full of smelly manure.
Exactly.
And so I have 2 rules for my clients. The first one is to breathe, because inherently when everything goes sideways, you stop breathing, you tighten up, and you freak out.
When K4CO was in that predicament, the exact same thing. I called you. I was already elevated to
right. And how many hours did you spend?
Hours.
How many hours?
I don't know. Probably I'd say at least a day. So a good 10 hours.
Okay.
Of a work day,
how many hours did Sarah spend?
Probably we do most of it. She doesn't like technology. So
I get
maybe
that,
two.
but when
Maybe
when
two.
stuff stopped working,
Yes.
she sees you doing it, she goes off to try to help somebody. Mm-hmm. So you spent 12 hours. Well, you don't get an hourly rate.
Right.
Your time costs money.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So call it $50 an hour.
Yep.
And you spent, I don't know, 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So it cost you $300 to go nowhere and get incredibly frustrated.
Right.
As opposed to call me before you get frustrated.
After breathing, exactly. Relax.
Breathing is always a benefit.
Yes, exactly.
But because if you don't, eventually you will turn blue and fall down. But yeah, call me beforehand, And I've got clients who I called before I got frustrated. I said, I can tell.
It comes out in the phone.
It comes out everywhere. Just it breaking, just it not doing what you want it to do. Just.
Right.
That's the way.
Just breathe and call.
Yep.
Breathe
And if
and
it's
call.
not me, call somebody else.
Right.
Call somebody who knows.
Call someone who knows exactly what to do and doesn't have to spend 10 hours researching it like you want to.
I am not the most incredibly financially astute individual. Because I'm not a billionaire. And, I make money, I can spend money, but I suck at taking care of it. Mm-hmm. And, at some point I will have to hire somebody who's really good at taking care of it.
Right.
And, just the way it is. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, definitely, just breathe and call the experts. IT1 Service. I mean, over 40 years, he started with computers before military, before the Marines.
I started playing with computers in 73.
1973.
And started doing work on technology on a mainframe in 78.
Right. And that's a long time. So yeah, call the experts. And hey, with the holidays coming, if you know that one person who always calls you, asking, this isn't working, this may be, they could benefit from a 1 hour gift from you.
Yeah, and
I
I hadn't really thought of that. That's a great idea. I'm going to call a couple of my clients and see if they're.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just wonderful. I mean, a lot of them aren't local, so I don't know whether they'd buy it, but.
But still, I mean, I would love it where a boss is like, thank you. Hey, here's an hour of any type of IT work that you need.
I will be more than happy to sell you a block of hours you can give
that we can give away to all of our guests.
You can absolutely.
Heck yeah.
I'll even make you up little cards.
Little thank you cards. I love it. Everybody go to IT1Service.com. We've been speaking with Brett Minzer, owner of IT1 Service. 720-386-1510. Location is near Santa Fe, Mississippi, but they can help a lot remotely as well. So check them out. They have hour blocks and go through in 15-minute increments. And go to the experts right there. So if you're just kind of tuned in for the end of this, the entire interview is going to be on the K4CO Radio social media platforms for at least a month. And just rewind it, check it out. And if you have any questions, again, 720-386-1510, IT, the number one, service.com. Well, thank you very much, Brett, for coming on in. I always have a good time talking with you.
You didn't ask this question.
Which one?
What was one of your most fun projects?
Ooh, all right, yeah.
I
want to hear a fun project.
I had a kid who was going to ITT Tech.
Okay.
Have you heard
I think I've heard of that one.
They basically,
tech.
teach you how to fix a computer and then, try to find you a job.
Aren't a lot of NASA people, they went there? No? Okay.
No, just the wannabes.
Okay.
So I'm working for a company called A Better Computers. Mm-hmm. They were near Yosemite and Hamden. And I'm sitting in my office. I have nothing to do for a couple of hours. Just kind of going, what should I do? And I get a call from a kid who's maybe 17, and his assignment is to call somebody and help design a network.
Just to call somebody and help
call somebody in the
design
industry.
a network.
No, call somebody in the industry and have them help him design a network.
Okay.
And I think he assumed it was going to be, here's 3 computers and here's a switch and here's, and that's it.
Right.
And my memory is a bit better than that. So we designed a 3,000 node network with you know, 2 companies and 30 offices and, different departments and printers and wireless, the whole bit. And we did it in about an hour and a half. And I just kept rattling everything off to him. Okay, you writing this down? You writing this down? And I could almost see his eyes just rolling back into his head. So I'm just, okay, well, you'll need a Cisco this, and here's the part number. Okay, and the average cost for this is, and just off the top of my head, and he goes, ow.
Did you make him quit school?
No, but I think he went into the food industry.
To the food industry.
Hey, I had a client who went to who was in the food industry, wanted to be in the tech industry designing websites, and which can be profitable.
Yeah.
And as somebody new to the world and younger, I took him under and I said, okay, and I set up a domain, I set up a website, set up his email, did all that stuff, and gave it to him for free for the first year, just to try to move him forward. And after about 2 months, I didn't hear from him, and I saw him again, and I said, so what's up? He goes, I can make more money working as a barback. I said, okay.
Right.
I hope that if that's what you want to do with your life, then everybody's going to need a barback at some point.
Yeah. And, everything I've heard is that starting your own business is easy, right?
Starting, it's easy. It's $50.
It's just doing it.
$50 is it's easy peasy. The other 99% of it is not easy, and it can be very stressful. The 6 P's apply. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. You gotta prepare for stuff. You gotta have the ability to fall back on stuff if you can.
Right.
You got to be able to know what's going on, and most people work at a job and they know that job.
Right. Exactly.
When you work for yourself, you know your job and everybody else's job, and how to bring in all the different pieces. I got a client, and I just make her pay the minimal stuff because she's also new. She was a masseuse, and I met her at a vendor site. I was just sitting there, and we started talking, and she says, "Oh, well, I start my own company, but I don't know how to do that, and it's got to be thousands of dollars." And I said, "No, it's $50. Takes about an hour." And so I set up her company, and and all that kind of stuff, and it's a way to pay it forward.
Right.
And I'll recommend a movie.
I need a movie.
Chuck, hold on. Amazing Grace and Chuck.
Amazing Grace
and Chuck.
And Chuck. That's one movie. That's Amazing Grace and Chuck.
And the other is Taking Chance.
All right.
2 of the most wonderful movies you'll ever watch.
All right. I like it. I need some new movies.
Those are not new.
Well, new movies to watch.
If you haven't watched them, those are incredible. The Amazing Grace and Chuck is literally, it revolves around characters who are making world-based life changes in a year. And the other one is a Marine who feels he hasn't been in battle enough and supported Marines who are in battle, and escorts the body of a dead Marine, of a killed Marine in battle, back to his home for his burial. And it's the trek across country, and it's just incredible. I probably watched both those movies about 6 or 8 times.
Oh wow! Yeah, all right,
they're really good movies.
Well, I know what I'm watching this weekend then.
You will go from one to the other and go, shit, where the hell did I? Why didn't I see this?
If I love them so much, I'm gonna start taking more from you, because I search on all these streaming platforms.
Sergeant
I
York.
hate them.
Sergeant York.
What's that?
Sergeant York.
Sergeant York.
And To Hell and Back.
All right.
Those are, if you like war movies.
I do.
It's a World War I and a World War II.
All right.
And they're both Medal of Honor winners. The 2 characters. Sergeant York, Alvin York, was the first one. in World War One, and the other was oh my God, he ended up being Audie Murphy. The second one's the Audie Murphy story,
Okay.
and he plays in the movie. He plays himself.
He plays himself. All
Yeah.
right. Nice.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, really
I got
good flick.
I got some movies for the Thanksgiving
There
break.
you
I
go.
love it. You know it.
Put that one on there. Yeah, eat my bird and watch the movie.
There you go. Well, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving
You too.
planned and everything for next
do.
week. So
I'm
awesome.
hoping.
Heck yeah. Thanks for coming in. And yeah, again, if you just kind of got the last minute of this, it's going to be on our K4CL radio platforms for at least a month. So check it out and go to IT1Service.com, 720-386-1510. Thanks again for coming in, Brett.
Absolutely. Thank you
All
for having
right,
me.
no problem. Everybody, right now, we're going to get into our afternoon mix of music on K4CO Radio. So hopefully you enjoy that. Let us take your soundtrack for the afternoon mix. So take care and have a great rest of the Wednesday, everybody.